Hi, I'm Ken Cashin, new to Fairfield, and today we're going to be talking about art walks in the fall. And being new to Fairfield, one of the things that I really look forward to is the First Friday's art walks. And being new to Fairfield and seeing the art walks, they're really something that's exciting. And we've got Stacey Hurlin and Dawn McKay from the Art Life Society to tell us about what's coming up in September. And I'm going to turn it right over to Stacey and say thanks for coming. And I really wanted to meet you. And what could you tell me about the art walk coming up in September?
The art walk coming up in September is our 12th consecutive First Fridays art walk here in Fairfield. It takes place September 5th. It's got the time wrong. September 5th. It happens on the Fairfield Square. It's from 6:30 to 9:30. And as we've done them 11 times before, it will be the same situation where someone can show up on the square anytime in the evening and stop at any one of the merchants or the restaurants, pick up what is called a yellow guide. The yellow guide lists 10 to 12 galleries that are participating in the art walk. It explains what exhibit is showing at each one of those galleries. It also includes restaurants and some of the different retail spaces around the square that are also showing artwork. It's a remarkable situation that Fairfield has, where within 2 blocks of the square in any direction, we have over 20 places showing art. And it's not just a ma and pa approach to art. There are artists who are showing work who have shown in well-known museum exhibits across the country. We're just fortunate to have them here in Fairfield. We have different art shows of different mediums. We have the watercolor artists, we have oil, we have sculpture, we have wood, we have some ceramics, some fiber arts, and it's all there on the square within a block or two. And then in addition to that, always added to that is the great flavor that we have so many international restaurants on Fairfield Square. So someone can come and enjoy an entire evening of the restaurants, the galleries, seeing what Fairfield has to offer. And then with every art walk there are different sort of added touches, different entertainments added to it. And it has made, so far, a successful formula for 11 months now.
Hey, well, I know I've been to 3 art walks. And the first one I walked around and saw all the art, and then I noticed on the second one there were street performers.
Yes.
And then on the last one that I went to, I noticed there were street performers and food vendors.
Yes.
And being new to the town, how did you come up with the whole concept of the artwork? I know most people in town know about it, but people like myself, who probably just tuning in, how did you come up with the art walk, and what is the theme for September? Because I have a little note here that says it's art for food, or food for art.
Yes. Well, some of us, the way this started, it started last summer. There was an art walk. It was a delightful event. It was small, but it was a delightful event, and several sat together and thought, why don't we do this more often? Some thought we should do it once a year, some twice a year. I volunteered to have Art Life Society be the one that would just present these, and let's begin right away. Let's start the first one 5 or 6 weeks from that date of that meeting, and let's do them every month. And my thinking was, it gives the entire town, it might take a while to catch on, but it gives the town a framework whereby everyone can benefit, and it has been showing to be that's the case. The September Art Walk, its special feature, which Dawn McKay has been really spearheading and working on this with me tremendously, is it's an entire theme on focusing on the aspects of Fairfield agencies who work with those in our community who do not have adequate food or adequate supplies for a family to live in our 2003 economy. As the economy is getting a little bit trickier, more and more families are finding that challenge, and the agencies in Fairfield, those agencies who work for us are the Lord's Cupboard, Neighborhood Center, the CETA program, and then there are all these additional programs and organizations that assist those agencies. So it's a great opportunity, if we have 2,000 people coming to the art walk, to just come with, for example, a bag of groceries that they bring, which will go towards the Lord's cupboard. And in addition to that, we've set up an entire event called Art to Food 2003. There will be a number of ways that people can purchase things, and the result is that will go towards helping these agencies. Dawn has been focusing even more on that. She probably has more to say on this, but it's from my perspective, because I'm the one that's sort of been tweaking these art walks, I am excited that month after month we can create an event once a month where, as everyone catches on, the restaurants, the shops, the galleries can all catch on to this and figure out how they can plug into it. And occasionally it can be for a higher community cause like this of bringing more awareness and more food to these agencies.
Hey, would you consider this art walk a combination of a food drive and an art walk?
I don't want to call it a food drive because I don't even know why. Because my whole approach is art and community. And when you bring art together and community together with the intention of some service like this, the result probably is a food drive, but because it is so much more than that. A food drive,
Yeah, it's what I was going to say. It's so much more than that,
yeah.
because for this particular art walk, we have the focus really on community, which we always have, but this sort of showcases it. The JCs are very involved with this particular art walk, and they do so much more than the fireworks on the 4th of July. And this is a way for people to see some of the other things that they're doing. They, at Thanksgiving, provide food baskets locally, and Stacey and I feel very strongly about caring locally, and if you want to make a change in the world, you have to start locally. And this is such a wonderful community that way. People just come together at the drop of a hat when there's a need, and there's still a need for the basic foods in our town. And so the JCs are going to be active in helping us set up a large truck, and people can bring bags of groceries to donate.
2 trucks.
2 trucks. And then they'll receive a free gift when you bring a bag of groceries. And the Scouts, Boy Scouts, and some of the Girl Scouts in town as well, have been going door to door and leaving freezer bags on the doors with a little note and telling people to please, bring this back with food, and you'll receive a free gift. So they've come together to help us with that. They've also are going to be at the art walk. A lot of JC's volunteers, and also several of our artists are volunteering their artwork specifically to sell to commemorate this event and to raise funds for the JCs so that they can distribute more of the food baskets than they've been able to do in the past, because there hasn't been enough.
I had some notes that said for this art walk, the Art to Food, there was going to be some special exhibits.
Yes.
Along with special music that will relate to food, food songs.
Right, food songs.
But if you could tell us a little bit about the special exhibits and what will be there.
Ken, it's all for fun. The whole thing is for fun. It is going to raise money. It's going to raise a tremendous amount of non-perishable foods. And in the process of doing that, it's while we're having fun. So the theme Art to Food came about specifically with this idea. If we have art, if our focus is on art, how can we translate into food? And so there are 7 or 8 artists, and actually if I could read to you these names, because I really appreciate these artists stepping forward. Chris Soth, John Preston, Jewel McDonald, Ann Weigel, Betsy Huffsmith, David Fleming, Carolyn Waxman. These are some of our local artists who are entering some of their works into this exhibit. The exhibit is only pieces of artwork that pertain to food, feasts, family dining, harvest, something to do with food. And they are all giving a significant portion of the proceeds of any of these pieces of artwork selling to this particular cause this month. I'm also very excited to say that another artist who used to live here, and most people know this artist, Elaine Arnold. Elaine Arnold lived in Fairfield for a very long time, has moved a few years ago to North Carolina, but she's known for the Christmas angel that's on the square over the holidays, that charming angel on the southwest corner. She did the stone sculpture that is at St. Mary's Church of St. Francis. She is also, when I told her about this cause that would be raising money and food for this September Art Walk, she was so touched, because her heart is very much in Fairfield still, that she is sending us one of her works, and that's really a prized thing to have for this show, so I'm excited about that. But you asked about music. So there's a local DJ, a young man named Raphael. He will be DJing music on the square all evening long about what else? Food. So every song, whether it is, name some song.
Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Heard It Through the Grapevine, Strawberry Fields Forever, Lime in the Coconut, or some children's nursery rhymes or
Mashed
songs.
potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. I'll tell them to make sure that's in there. Every song is about food, and people can even request songs of him throughout the evening.
And there's plenty of room
So-
to dance
And
on the
there is
square.
room to
You can
dance for
dance.
those who want to dance.
You
There will-
can dance.
There will
Please
be some
dance.
refreshments.
Have fun.
Right. The other key thing with regard to the art is there are two ceramic artists in Fairfield. One of them is Elaine Congdon, another one is Casey Clemens. Both of them do remarkable work in the area of ceramics. They have put their talent together, and they are creating a new line of ceramic ware with a theme to it specifically about Fairfield. The first ones will be specifically within the theme of Fairfield, will be about food. I don't know what it is, but I do know that you put these two women together in the same ceramic studio, and whatever it is, it's going to be great. And I haven't seen it yet, but they will be limited editions available. So there's these different aspects. The fun of an evening, bringing everyone together, doing it for a cause, and then what is dear to me and comes out with every art walk is finding new ways to showcase the talent and the creativity of this town. And as a result, it's catching on. There are people, we have regulars now coming from Des Moines, we have people coming from Albia, we have people coming down from Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, and not just a one-time thing. I have numerous people saying, I've only missed one in the last 4 since I found out about these, I'm not missing another one. There are people that are finding that there's something about the whole feeling of this. It is really rural Midwest at its best, these evenings. I can't say anything higher about it than that.
It's being new to Fairfield. It's something I didn't expect when I came to
Yes,
town. And
well,
being,
you would be a good example of
being from
an
the West
outsider's
Coast.
view. Yes.
and walking around town, going, you see cultural diversity. You see an economic, at least for myself, an economic growth for the city itself, and a great promotional tool for Fairfield.
Yeah.
And I guess another question I have is, how can an artist get involved in the art walk if they are not currently involved?
That's such a good question. Thank you. That is such a good question, and I'll tell you why. The number of people who are thinking that there's some private group doing this, or that it's a private club, or in some way it's outside of themselves, it's not true. Anyone, call me, email us, artlifesociety@yahoo.com. Really, we strongly encourage anyone.
Say it one more time.
Artlifesociety@yahoo.com. All one word, Art Life Society.
And it's on the yellow guide.
And it's on every yellow guide. It's also on every quarterly. The Arts Quarterly is a blue. We don't have one here in front of us, but all the information is also in that. Any merchant within a block or two of the square is welcome to be in on these. Any restaurant or merchant who is feeling like, I've wanted to have artwork up, call me. There are so many artists who are looking for a place to show their work. I am getting, and this is not an exaggeration, I'm getting 2 or 3 calls a week now from artists out of the Fairfield area.
Yes, I got 3 myself last
Yes.
week, and all out of town, wanting to be
All
a
out of
part
town.
of what's going on here in our little
So-
community.
I had one call, but he was a con artist.
No, we turn away all con artists. We spot them a mile away. That won't work. But anyone, and you know, this also applies to all ages, because one of the things that I think we've been really most delighted about with these art walks is there is a place for everyone, there's a place for every age. There are dance performances happening by 4-year-olds. There are dance performances that adults who are professionals and are performing sometimes in Chicago who are doing something. There are art shows by the high school students. There are young art shows of even younger age than that. We've had video shorts, I don't know what the technical word is, video shorts by high school students. We have had different computer graphic programs. In fact, any high school student, and I emphasize this again and again, if there's any way you want to get involved, this is your town.
Absolutely.
We can't encourage you enough. Get a hold of us. You are, 1, you have more energy than all of us put together. 2, you have visions and ideas for this town that I'm looking for.
And we want
Because
to promote
we want
that,
it. We
yeah.
want something fresh. We don't want the same old town. We don't want to be any old small town in the Midwest. We have a chance here to go a step beyond and be something greater. And I think we can. I think there are a number of us who think we have all the makings of being an art community and be known for a cutting edge on that art. So, but you know what? You don't have to even be an artist. Dawn and I would welcome anybody doing anything to do with these art walks.
Volunteers. We love volunteers.
Yes.
We need as many as possible.
Yes.
And I also wanted to just add to what Stacey was saying to young people getting involved. It's the lifeblood of our town, and we need young people to be involved now. We want you to stay in this wonderful community, and we want to have the art walks continue for as long as our town continues. So please email us. And I wanted to also just add real quickly how wonderful our sponsors have been.
Thank you. Good.
And just to name the sponsors that are involved in this particular art walk alone. We have our wonderful scouts, scout leaders obviously, and JCs, but business sponsors as well. Everybody's Whole Foods, Hy-Vee, Econo Foods, Hawthorne Direct, Copperfield Chimney Supplies, let's see, Frontline Graphics, and American Pride Tofu, Earl Stimson, Hat Molyneux Art Reproductions, and business owners, you can still get involved. We can still plug
Yes.
you in.
Yes.
So,
Especially for this art walk, because the theme is supporting our community
Right.
agencies. One of the fun things when we will have these 2 trucks on the square that will be filling up with the food that the scouts have given these bags to everyone around the town. Have you gotten yours yet?
Yes, I have.
Good. Make sure you bring it.
But where else can, if someone didn't get a bag, where can they get one?
They can bring any bag they have.
Right.
It's just a plain old bag. It's just that it was personally delivered by some of our scouts.
and donated from our local grocery stores.
Yes, the grocery
Right.
stores were the ones who donated those bags. And when someone does bring them, all they need to do is look for a large arch of rainbow balloons. That will indicate where to bring the food. But there will also be a banner up that will thank all of these sponsors who have helped bring this about. These events don't happen without some expense to them. So there is some expense being covered by this, but the lion's share of all of this goes straight to these agencies. And one of the key things also about this art walk is we're initiating and introducing something new. It's called the Good Life Card. And this card is going to be available during this art walk. After the art walk, it will be available at 1 or 2 locations on the square. But the unique thing about this card is it fits in your wallet. It is a discount to 12 to 16 locations. I'm not sure exactly what the final number is on this, where someone using this card pays $5 for this card. The proceeds from this purchase of this card goes straight to the agencies that are involved in this art walk that we're supporting. With that $5 investment, someone has over $100 worth of really valuable things that they can get from this card. It is all focused on food. It is discounts to many of our restaurants, many of our food supply locations, many of our stores, and it's helping an agency at the same time while you can save as much as $95 to $110.
Yeah.
So
For $5.
we're really for $5. So we're really happy to present this card to Fairfield.
And how do people get the card?
People get the card by coming to the Art Walk. You'll see a table that has a large sign saying "Get your Good Life card here." If for some reason one is not able to get one at the Art Walk or is not attending the Art Walk, there is a new bookstore that will be opening on the square, and we thought in honor of supporting one more merchant opening and being prosperous in their months and years to come, 21st Century Bookstore will be opening on the west side of the square. They will have these cards. The card is good for 3 months, and the card will be available for sale throughout September. So we thank you for purchasing these cards. It is going directly to help strengthen Fairfield.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a question. Being new in town, I look at the Art Walk and I see the people that it brings in, and I'm sure there's a lot of money that comes in for the local businesses. Do you see the Art Walk as a good economic growth for Fairfield? Or do you find people go, I don't really see it bringing anything into my business? Because being someone who's new in town, I've seen on a Friday going, it's packed.
Right.
And looking at what people are doing, what I call grazing, going around and stopping in different restaurants or stopping at little stands. Do you see it as being an economic boom for the city or growth for Fairfield?
I think it's one of the largest growth factors for Fairfield at this time. I see it as an economic opportunity for growth for the merchants, especially because one of the first merchants that we had stay open in the evening has been keeping count of what their intake is that evening, and they said it's almost always 400% more than any other night that they have been open. So this is just ripe for the picking, if you will. You just, if any merchant can be open that evening, it's totally a boon to you and to us as well. And so we, and it's not just one type of customer as well. We always have activities for children. The whole family can come to this event. So
there is something that I wanted to touch on, and trying to be politically correct. Not being a meditative person myself and being new in town, I go to the Art Walk and you listen to what people say. And some people go, it's only for meditators. And I look at it as it's for anybody.
it's for anybody.
You can explain, or Stacey, you can explain how it all comes together, and it's not just, well, a meditator goes to the Art Walk, and what I've known as a towner goes to somewhere else.
He goes right to the point here.
I go right to the point.
Yes, we like that.
I'm new in town, so.
That's great. No, I love it. I welcome that. What was exactly your question in that comment?
Is the Art Walk, the perception of some people is the Art Walk is all the artists and meditators, and there's no town people involved. And what I mean by town people are what I've learned to be the towners, the people that have been here even before the university. So maybe the people new who haven't seen it, or even the people watching for the first time, can go, there's a fitting together of everybody. I mean, I think you were quoted as saying there were 200 artists in Fairfield.
Yeah, and that's at least. I only said that off the top of my head when I listed all the names. You know, I'm glad you asked this question, and it is very understandable to think that it is some outsiders, some small faction that is putting this on and attending it solely in and of themselves, and that it does appear that it's pretty much all the meditators. You know, I have to say, yes, I've been meditating for 30 years. It's,
So?
yeah. So if we want to do another interview sometime of asking me about that, sure, fine. But the fact is, I just live my life. My husband and I are raising 5 children in this town. I wouldn't be in another town. I think that there is so much potential in Fairfield. And what I am noticing is, well, first of all, having started this from a beginning, it has gained momentum. I can only be myself, and I can only sort of put the word out to the nearest and immediate around me. But with a little bit of time, I am noticing that it's spreading. We're getting more groups involved. We're getting more different organizations keyed into this. And it is becoming more and more the whole community involved.
And that's the real focus.
That's the whole focus. That's the
because
whole
we are a
focus.
community, and it's this is the perfect venue to come together. Creativity's everywhere, and it's hopping here in our town, and so we want to celebrate that. Just as the banners say,
Yes.
celebrate Fairfield.
Fairfield,
It's
right.
a fabulous addition.
And you know, also, Ken, you are new to Fairfield, but I think anyone who has been here and grown up here, not a newcomer, even like myself, Fairfield has always been considered a creative town, actually for many, many decades.
There are a lot
It
of
has been the place that neighboring towns always came to for that economic boost and the location they looked up to. I do feel, though, that there have been times in the past when its biggest strength was the farming community. The biggest strength was industry. We still have a very strong farming and industry aspect to Fairfield, and always will. I just personally do observe, though, that you don't have over 200 artists in a town just any old time. It's not a common experience within small towns in the Midwest that there is such a prevalence of so much creative expression in the arts. So I call that a window. I feel that there's a window right now that is open to putting a little more identity for Fairfield on the arts. That it can very easily be just a few steps to have the identity of Fairfield be a place that is looked up to for really long distances as all the elements of an art community combined with the finest quality of rural living put together. And you don't get that. I don't believe that there is any place in the Midwest that is showcasing an art walk once a month within walking distance of a charming town square. It's just not happening.
Well,
it's a first. It's not happening anywhere.
It's something I didn't expect when I came here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is something you would see in a San Francisco or Los Angeles,
Right.
Even a Sacramento. But you come to the town, and you really look forward to it because it brings in a lot of people. We only have a few minutes left. A couple of things that we definitely need to touch on for the new people like myself: the times of the art walk. And I need you to go into what's happening in October, because I know in October you're having something special.
Yes.
And it's going to be 2 days, which I
Yes.
read about going. I think it's really cool, and you'll get me as a volunteer.
Great.
So if you could let the audience know time, time it starts, time it ends, and what is going on in October, then we'll wrap it up.
6:30 to 9:30, the magic hours. The first Friday of every month. So it's easy to remember. If it's the first Friday of a month and you're anywhere within distance of the town square of Fairfield, 6:30 to 9:30. And the October Art Walk, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary. And there, we didn't plan this way. We were only going to do a few months of this. It's just that a few months went into 4 months, and then it went into through the winter, and then it went. So here we are. It's 1 year.
But you can't stop now.
And I think even if we tried to get off, it's not going to be able to happen. So the 1 year is going to be recognized with a few things. One of them is we are doing a grand prize to celebrate this. It will be an art and travel prize, and we're excited. We're just putting the package together. We'll let you know more as it unfolds, but it is combining some wonderful different aspects that make a great package, and in doing so, it's to further recognition of the arts, it probably would be a couple of tickets to go someplace. Anyway, we're working that out, and it is an exciting thing. In addition to that, we're doing an all-day event the following day on Saturday,
October morning.
October 4th. It's called October Morning. We have had countless number of people say one day is not enough to see everything on Friday evenings. It's just not enough. 6:30 to 9:30 is fine, but there's so much more and we miss it. Many people have said that. Many people, particularly anyone who is older, has said they don't like going out on Friday nights. Can you do this on Saturday? So it's hard to pull all of this together, but there has been really so much of a request in this regard that we've created Saturday, October 4th, as our first 2-day event. And that includes, it's simultaneous with the farmers market, which has also been getting a great attendance, if anyone hasn't been going to that. It's a wonderful
at what
thing.
time?
So it's at Howard Park. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There are 30 artisans who will be showcasing their artwork and their craft.
On Howard Park.
All of this takes place on Howard Park. The artists are national artists. These are not local artists necessarily, many from other places. And we are reaching for a quality of artistry and a unique approach to their art that isn't usually seen in art and crafts fairs in most of our region. There will be great food. There will be live music all day long.
And lots of family entertainment. We'll have an
Lots.
activity tent.
Yes.
All ages.
Yes.
That is one thing that you'll notice in this October morning is that it's more than just the visual arts. We'll have music. There'll be dancing. There'll be all kinds of creative things for kids to do. And that's just one other plug for the Art Walk, is that we want to celebrate all the arts. What small town has the number of drama theater companies
Performing
that we have?
arts, yes.
Performing arts, they're just everywhere.
Yes.
So we'll be including more and more of that sort of thing.
And also, if I can add, the October morning has the ultimate hay bale maze, which
M-A-Z-E.
M-A-Z-E, which is just one more thing that is being added for the makings of just a fun whole day.
Come and see if you can get through it. It'll be great.
That'll be neat. So let's recap what's coming up.
Yes.
The Art for Food.
Art to Food,
Art to Food.
September 5th
Starts
on the
at?
Square,
6:30
6:30
p.m.
And you know, we say it ends at 9:30, but the truth is,
It goes on until
My
everybody
husband and I-
leaves.
Bring your flashlights.
That's
We
right.
We will have light, but bring your flashlights.
my husband and I end up leaving 11:30. There are still a couple hundred people walking about.
And can you use volunteers?
So,
Many.
anyone.
Volunteer.
Yes. Whether you would like to do something on our website, whether you would like to be a greeter at the art walks, help behind the scenes, be an artist. Any artist, you're welcome to give us a call.
Be an Art Walk ambassador.
Right.
Yes, anything, yes. Yes, or I have actually gotten really valuable emails just from suggestions. Many
Suggestions are
people
welcome.
email with a few suggestions that, you know, many minds make the thing work right, and it's wonderful getting suggestions from people.
Well, I thank you for letting me interview you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And asking a couple of pointed questions.
Good.
And just remember, be out at Artwalk. It's
Yes.
great. It's a lot of fun. These two ladies do everything.
Well,
Chief cook,
volunteers.
bottle washer, with volunteers. But you carried most of it on your back just by me meeting you over the last few days.
there is a great Art Walk Action Committee that is helping pull this off. But
I always
we can
see-
always use more.
But
Yes.
I always see
Yes.
you working hard and your emails late at night. So coming out to Artwalk, it'll be a lot of fun. It doesn't matter if you meditate or you don't meditate, because it's the town of Fairfield.
right.
And
Bring your
art
family.
art is for everybody.
Art is for everyone.
And I
Many-
think this is going to be really
You
cool.
know, many people have been telling me that now when their relatives come, they are planning it so that they come over the week that will include an art walk. I think it's wonderful.
And I think it's
wonderful.
great what you're doing for the town. I hope the town is really behind it.
Yes.
I'm volunteering for it.
Thank you.
And
Get
thank-
involved.
that pretty much wraps it up for us. And thanks for putting up with us for about a half hour. Be at the Art Walk.
First Friday.